I wake up to a melody I swore I'd never play. Somehow your name still finds the chords that led me here today. The record spins in silence, but I hear you anyway. A ghost between the frets and strings that time can't wash away. I didn't choose this song, but it knows just where you've gone. Every note, the door I can't keep closed. I still find you in songs I don't remember playing, in the ones that start with heartbreak, in the ones that keep on saying your name in every bridge, your touch in every key. I still find you in the music that was never meant for me. There's a station on the radio that always plays it too, and somehow every single time it only sounds like you. I've changed the dial 1,000 times, I've hummed a different tune, but the silence finds a frequency and fills the room with you. I still find you in songs I don't remember playing, in the ones that start with heartbreak, in the ones that keep on saying your name in every bridge, your touch in every key. I still find you in the music that was never meant for me. If this song hits something deep inside you, hit that subscribe button. I write every word for souls like you. Drop a comment, let me know which line found your heart. And if you know someone who needed this, share it from the start. Maybe music is the only way the heart can say what the mouth can't say. And every song I never chose is just a way I love you still. I still find you in songs I don't remember playing, in the ones that start with heartbreak, in the ones that keep on saying your name in every bridge, your touch in every key. I still find you, I still find you in the music inside of me. Your things on a Tuesday night in late July left the back door swinging open underneath a copper sky. I swept the floors, I aired the rooms, I rearranged the frames, but even the dust dust that settles here still whispers out your name. Fingerprints on the window glass, echoes too stubborn to let things pass. Presence like a root that goes too deep. You left, but the dust still knows your name. It settles where your shadow fell, and nothing feels the same. I've cleaned the house from room to room, but still it stays. You left, but the dust still knows your name. There's a dent beside the old oak chair where you would always lean, a hook beside the kitchen door that holds a ghost unseen. I've let the light in, let it all breathe fresh and new again, but the air itself remembers you like perfume in the rain. You left, but the dust still knows your name. It settles where your shadow fell, and nothing feels the same. I've cleaned the house from room to room, but still it stays. You left, but the dust still knows your name. Hey, if this one got into your bones, subscribe and never miss a song that finds you alone. Comment below the line that felt like home to you, and share this with someone. The dust reminds of someone too. Maybe leaving is the easy part, but traces live longer than the heart. And no amount of silence, no amount of days can make the dust forget the ones who stayed. You left, but the dust still knows your name. It settles where your shadow fell, and nothing feels the same. I've cleaned the house 1,000 times, but still it stays. You left, you left, but the dust still knows your name. I found a box beneath the bed, pushed back against the wall, full of all the things I meant to say, but never said it all. Pages folded, ink gone dry, the seal was never broke, every word a sentence, and a story left in smoke. We had the words, we had the ink, we had the time but couldn't think of how to say what both our hearts already knew. We fell apart like letters never sent, beautiful and honest, and too late for what they meant. The words were right, the moment wrong, the ink already spent. We fell apart like letters never sent. You had a drawer of your own, I know I saw it once, full of careful handwriting and half a dozen months of everything you wanted me to hear before the end. But we sealed our silence in the envelopes we'd never send. We fell apart like letters never sent, beautiful and honest, and too late for what they meant. The words were right, the moment wrong, the ink already spent. We fell apart like letters never sent. This song is for the words you kept inside. If it found you, subscribe and stay for every ride. Leave a comment, tell me what you never sent. Share this with the one who still deserves what you meant. Maybe love's not in the saying, but in all the years we spent delaying all the truth we folded into boxes, into bed. Now I read them to a version of you living in my head. We fell apart like letters never sent, beautiful and honest, and too late for what they meant. The words were right, the moment wrong, the ink already spent. We fell apart, we fell apart like letters never sent. The bar was loud, the lights were low. You walked in like a dare. You laughed at something somebody said, and I forgot to care about anything that wasn't you. The way your voice would fall, we closed the place down, walked outside, and I forgot it all. Should've left it at the bottom of the glass. Should've known that kind of fire doesn't last. But I walked into every flame you had. That night still burns like whiskey on my lips. I taste it in the cold and in the early morning mist. I've tried to wash it out with time, with water and with prayer, but that night still burns, like you were still right there. We talked until the stars went in. The birds began to call. Your jacket on my shoulders, and your back against the wall. I said some things I meant too much. You said what I still keep, and now I roll it over every night. I try to sleep. That night still burns like a whiskey on my lips. I taste it in the cold and in the early morning mist. I've tried to wash it out with time, with water and with prayer, but that night still burns, like you were still right there. If this one put a fire back in your chest, hit subscribe. I pour everything into every request. Drop your comment, tell me what night you can't forget. Share it with someone who's still burning, not done yet. I don't regret a single second, not a word, not the way you looked at me before the morning stirred. Something used to drive past houses with the porches and the light, and picture us on Sunday mornings, coffee, lazy light. I'd name the dog, I'd plan the garden, count the rooms inside. I built a whole life in my head, with you right by my side. But you never saw those blueprints that I drew, and the life I built was only ever true in the space between my heartbeat and the night. I built my dreams around around the mornings, and the children we would give, the kitchen table conversations. All the years ahead I built my dreams, and now I live alone inside my head. I kept a folder on my phone with places we'd have gone, a restaurant in Portugal, a road trip further on. I rehearsed the fights we'd have and how we'd make them right. I even planned the way we'd slow dance in the kitchen light. I built my dreams around a life we never lived, around the mornings and the children we would give, the kitchen table conversations. All the years ahead I built my dreams, and now I live alone inside my head. For everyone who built a life inside their mind, subscribe and know you'll always find your people here in time. Comment with the dream you had that never found its door. Share this song and let them know they're not alone anymore. Maybe dreaming is a kind of love, a way of saying you were worth the months of building something beautiful from nothing but a wish. Even if it only ever lived in this, I built my dreams around a life we never lived, around the mornings and the children we would give, the house, the years, the ordinary sacred days. I built my dreams, I built them all again, the same old way. You said goodbye on a gravel road at the edge of town, the kind of place where words dissolve and silence going down. You turned and walked and didn't look, your silhouette went thin, and I've been standing in that spot 1,000 times since then. A goodbye shouldn't live this long, shouldn't follow me through every song, shouldn't fill the road I drive on every night. Your goodbye still echoes down this empty road, in the wind and in the yellow light, and in the heavy load. I've driven every highway trying to leave it far behind, but your goodbye still echoes through my mind. The radio plays loud tonight to cover up the sound, but even through the static, it keeps working its way around. That last word in your voice, the way your hand let go of mine, I hear it in the mile markers passing on the line. Your goodbye still echoes down this empty road, in the wind and in the yellow light, and in the heavy load. I've driven every highway trying to leave it far behind, but your goodbye still echoes through my mind. If this road sounds like one you've driven to, subscribe and ride along. I write these miles for you. Comment below, tell me where your goodbye lives. Share this with the driver who still searches as they live. I've reached the end of every road I know, and started back again to find somewhere to go. But goodbye has a way of being every mile, every exit sign, and every long straight line. Your goodbye still echoes down this empty road. I've learned to let it play while I carry on the low. Your voice is every highway and every fading light. Your goodbye still echoes. The years have stacked their weight on everything I knew. The friends have come and gone, and I've changed all the way through. But somewhere in the deepest drawer I keep without a key is all the love I gave to you that never came back free. Time undoes the strongest things, fades the color, dulls the rings, but it never touched the way I loved you then. I loved you in ways time couldn't undo, in ways that lived beneath the words we never knew, in ways that didn't need a name or a witness or proof. I loved you in ways that time just couldn't undo. I've loved again, I've lived again, I've learned to sleep through nights. I've watched the sun come up and felt it finally feel right. But certain kinds of love don't fade, they settle like a stone at the bottom of who you are when you're completely on your own. I loved you in ways time couldn't undo, couldn't shake. Not bitter, not broken, just honest about this. Some love doesn't leave, it transforms into bliss. A quiet kind of knowing that no calendar can reach. A stone that lives below the tide, below the beach. I loved you in ways time couldn't undo, in ways I only understand in everything I do, in every song I write, and every morning I come through. I loved you, still love you, in ways time couldn't undo. I work the land my father left, and his father left before. I've learned to read the sky and know what every season's for. But there's a sound that finds me when the late light hits the wheat, a voice between the rustling, soft and low and bittersweet. You used to walk these roads with me at dusk. Your laugh would scatter starlings in the dust. Now the wind speaks in a voice I can't ignore. The wind still carries your voice through my fields. In the tall grass and the turning and the slow evening hills, I hear you in the harvest, and I hear you in the rain. The wind still carries your voice. I hope it always stays. My daughter walked beside me yesterday at golden hour. She said the wind is whispering and picked a wildflower. I told her that the land holds people long past when they've gone, and she smiled like she already knew that love is carried on. The wind still carries your voice through my fields. In the tall grass and the turning and the slow evening hills, I hear you in the harvest, and I hear you in the rain. The wind still carries your voice. I hope it all And I don't forget the voice that made the quiet nights feel right. So I keep on working, keep on planting, keep the road straight true, because the wind still needs a field to carry you through. The wind still carries your voice through my fields. In the tall grass and the turning, and the way the morning heals, I'll hear you in the harvest, and I'll hear you in the rain. The wind still carries your voice, and I'll always do the same. Made our vows beneath a sky we thought was always ours. We said forever like it was the simplest of all hours. We raised the kids, we built the years, we planted every tree. We were the story neither of us thought would ever need an ending. It wasn't you, it wasn't me, it wasn't wrong or right. It was just the universe deciding on a different night. We were forever until life had other plans, until the road curved somewhere neither one could understand. We were the kind of love they write on cemetery stones. We were forever, but forever found us on our own. I see the photos on the wall, and I still smile at them, because the love inside each frame was never a pretend. We gave each other everything that two good people can. We were forever, we just couldn't beat the hand. We were forever until life had other plans, until the road curved somewhere neither one could understand. We were the kind of love they write on cemetery it too. Share this for the ones who loved with everything they knew. Forever isn't always living side by side. Sometimes it's the love that never fully died. It lives in how I raised them and the things I learned from you. We were forever. We just changed into something new. We were forever until life had other plans, but forever left its fingerprints across this life of mine. We were the kind of love that doesn't need to understand. We were forever, and forever we remain. You left at dawn with a bag and half a promise in your eyes. You said you'd find your way back before the first December skies. I kept the porch light burning, and I kept your coffee cup. I kept the door unlocked at night and kept my reasons up. The seasons changed, but I stayed in this place. Some part of me still searching for your face. In every headlight coming down the lane, I still wait where you promised you'd return, at the same old window with the same small candles burn. I know the clock moved on, and maybe you did too, but I still wait, I still wait in the place I last knew you. The neighbors say let go and let the light in someone new, and maybe they're not wrong, but they didn't hear what you said too. You said I will come back, not if, but when and how. And I've been holding on to that word ever since till now. I still wait the same small candles burn. I know the clock moved on, and maybe you did too, but I still wait, I still wait in the place I last knew you. For everyone still standing at that window in their chest, subscribe and know this space. I don't think about you much, or so I tell the days. But then I make the first cut, and I'm lost inside the haze of something ordinary, warm and too familiar still. The steam curls like a question, and the cup holds what it will. Not dramatic, not a storm, not fire or ice, just a quiet kind of missing that is always just as nice as the memory of a morning I can't leave behind. Your memory tastes like coffee on a cold morning, simple and essential, and without a single warning. It finds me in the ordinary, fills up all the space. Your memory tastes like coffee, like I'm home in some lost place. Wrap your hands around your cup and squint into the light. You'd say I'm not a morning person, then you'd smile it right. We didn't need a reason, and we didn't need a sign, just coffee and a window, and your hand next to mine. Your memory tastes like coffee on a cold morning, simple and essential, and without a single warning. It finds me in the ordinary, fills up all the space. Your memory tastes like coffee, like I'm home in some lost place. If this one found you in the quiet of your kitchen, subscribe, because this channel lives in all the small things missing. Comment below what ordinary memory hits you most. Share this with the one who made the mornings mean the most. I've had spectacular, and I've had broken too, but nothing gets inside me like the simplest things of you. The ordinary sacred is the hardest to release. A cup of coffee and a cold morning and peace. Your memory tastes like coffee on a cold morning, simple and essential, and without a single warning. I'll feel, and I don't think that it won't. At the edge of my grandfather's lane, where the fence turns west, there's a tree so old it holds the weight of every season's test. I went there on the last night that I held your hand in mine, and dug a hole beneath the roots to bury what was fine. I put it where the roots would hold it safe, no one comes and no one sees my face, where only time and earth can understand. I buried our love beneath that old oak tree, under all the rings of years and all the history. It's not gone, it's growing somewhere I can't see. I buried our love beneath that old oak tree. I go back every autumn when the leaves come letting go. I put my hand against the bark and let myself know that something beautiful can live beneath the ground in peace, that love doesn't need to breathe the air to still hold every piece. I buried our love beneath that old oak tree, under all the rings of years and all the history. It's not gone, it's growing somewhere I can't see. I buried our love beneath that old oak tree. For the love you buried somewhere sacred in your soul, subscribe and walk these songs with me. You're never fully whole. Come in with your old oak tree, the place you laid it down. Share this for the hearts that buried love without a sound. Maybe the earth is kinder than the open air. Maybe the things we love most need the dark to grow somewhere. And when the tree gets taller and the roots push deeper through, I like to think are still somehow reaching you. I buried our love beneath that old oak tree, and every year the tree grows wider, grows for you and me. It's not gone, it changed into something true and free. I buried our love, and the oak tree carries me. I grew up in a house that had the walls and had the doors, had the table and the voices and the hardwood floors. But something was still missing that I couldn't name back then, until I met you, and the missing never came again. Not a building, not an address on a street, not a city or a country or a place to sleep. You were something I had never found before. You were my home before I knew what home meant, before I had the language for the heart to say what it meant. Every room I've lived in since I've measured against you, you were my home, the first real home I ever knew. You never had to try to make me feel like I belong. You never had to fix me or convince me I was strong. You'd just be there beside me, and the world would fall in place, and I'd forget the years of looking for somewhere in your face. You were my home before I knew what home meant, before I had the language or the heart to say what it meant. Every room I've lived in since I measured against you, you were my home, the first real home I ever knew. For everyone who found their home in someone's eyes, subscribe and stay, these songs are made for you and I. Leave a comment, tell me who felt like home to you. Share this with the one who made the world feel true. I've traveled far and I've come back again. I've tried to make a home out of 100 different ends, but all roads roads lead me back to what you taught me that it was to be completely somewhere just because you were my home. Before I knew what home meant, you were the warm and the familiar and the soft descent. And even in the houses I've made peace with since you've gone, you're in the walls, you're in the air, you're in the coming on of dawn. The song came on at someone else's wedding on a hill. You reached your hand across the table. Time went still. We weren't in love, or maybe we were. Neither of us said. We just stepped out to the garden and we danced instead. One song, one night, one turn beneath the lights. But something in me hasn't stopped that night. Something in my body still recalls the spin. We danced once, but I'm still spinning alone in the kitchen and the parking lots and driving home. One dance, that's all we ever were. One perfect night. We danced once, and I've been spinning in that light. You moved to somewhere east the following July. I heard it from a friend who didn't think to say goodbye. But sometimes at a wedding, when a slow song fills the room, I reach across the table to a hand that isn't you. We danced once, but I'm still spinning alone in the kitchen and the parking lots and driving home. One dance, that's all we ever were. One perfect night. We danced once, and I've been spinning in that light. For the one dance that never fully stopped for you, subscribe and keep on spinning. I'll spin right here too. Comment below your one dance, the one you can't undo. Share this with the one you wish had danced more than once with you. Maybe not all love needs a sequel or a scene. Maybe some of it lives best in the space between. And I don't mourn what we never were, I celebrate the spin, the perfect unrepeated dance I've never stopped dancing in. We danced once, but I'm still spinning alone. And honestly, I'm grateful for the way that night has grown into something far beyond one song upon a hill. We danced once, we danced once, and I'm dancing still. I used to fill the house with sound, so I would never feel the weight of all the quiet that your leaving made so real. I'd leave the TV on at night, the radio at noon, but silence has a patience that eventually finds the room. And when it finally settles in and sits beside me here, I hear things I've been running from since you disappeared. I hear the love we didn't finish, saying out loud. The silence after you still says everything. It speaks in all the frequencies you used to bring. It says your name and says the things we left undone. The silence after you still says everything. I've learned to sit inside it now without the fear, to hear the love that's been living in the quiet all this year. 'Cause silence isn't nothing, it's the shape of what was there. And your silence sounds exactly like the way you used to care. The silence after you still says everything. It speaks in all the frequencies you used to bring. It says your name and says the things we left undone. The silence after you still says everything. For everyone who's learned to hear inside the quiet, subscribe, because this channel is the voice inside the riot. Leave a comment, tell me what your silence says to you. Share this final song with everyone. The silence speaks of two. I used to think that love was loud. It's not. The loudest things I felt were in the space you left. And And I have made my peace with all this room inside my chest, because the silence holds you, and the silence knows the rest. The silence after you still says everything. It says I loved you in the ways that quiet brings. It says that some things live beyond the spoken word. The silence after you